Hi, this is Kirsten Bernthal Booth, and this is the off season. And we are here with Creighton volleyball alum, Taryn Kloth. Taryn, welcome.
Thank you so much. It's so good to see you again.
Hi, now even from afar, right?
I know everything's from afar right now, so we're going to take what we can get.
So, Taryn, a lot of our Blue Jay fans will be eager to hear so you graduate a year ago last December. And did you fall off the face of the earth, or what did you then embark in?
I went all the way down to Baton Rouge, Louisiana, and I have been playing beach volleyball for the past, well, I guess this was kind of half of my second season. But since I graduated early, I could have 2 seasons of beach volleyball after my 4 seasons at Creighton.
And how have things gone? Tell us a little bit about your experience at LSU.
It's been incredible. Lots of new experiences. It is like a different world down there. It's fantastic. The people are so nice. But you have the big LSU football games. We had a national championship this year. You have New Orleans, you have Mardi Gras balls, and it's just there's always a parade going on. I swear. There is just always something happening. And then for the beach volleyball part, I will tell everybody that it is not easy. I went in and I kind of knew that it was going to be a challenge because I had never, ever played beach volleyball other than just for fun by the lake. You know, I'm from South Dakota, so
Hey, we played really occasionally in practice.
I was never able to play.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
We played twice, and it's not really a big thing up in the Midwest, I guess, maybe in Kansas, but it was really tough to transition, and you had to learn a lot and relearn all of your skills to adapt to beach volleyball. But it was fun.
What when you say it was hard to adapt, was it running around in sand? Was it understanding a game? I mean, it's 2 versus 2. It's a whole different game. Was it understanding rules? What were the toughest 2 or 3 things to adapt to?
I would say the first one, when it was me and a couple other people, we were transitioning at the same time, and we were talking, and we're like, it is so hard to run in sand and talk at the same time. And I was like, wow, I am feeling the exact same thing. It is so difficult. So I would say just having the different surface, it makes it definitely a lot harder to run and jump. That was a huge factor. And then the second one, we always talk about getting your feet to the ball in indoor, but I could kind of get away with it if I didn't get my feet completely to the ball because I was so long. In beach volleyball, if you do not have your feet to the ball, you will not succeed. It is really impossible just because you can't get out of the sand like you can in indoor. And then the last part I think is so confusing. When you're attacking the ball, you try to hit where the block's not in indoor, right? When you play in beach, you want to attack where the block is blocking because that's where the other defender is not going to be. So that's taken a little bit of time. And it seems like a very simple, easy concept, but if you've been playing one way for your entire life and then you have to switch it, it's difficult.
So did you get to play either year? So, I mean, quickly you can kind of explain how you get to play, how many teams and I mean, I know the answer to this question, but I'm sure people are curious about, whether you got the opportunity to be part of the starting lineup.
I would like to say Kirsten has been amazing. She has continually kept up with me, checked in on me, always wanted to know what was going on. She was always there to talk. So for that, I am forever grateful because I know how many players she has. And it's incredible to have a coach that cares about you long term, like past your 4 years of playing, past being an athlete. She wanted to know about me as a person. So thank you so much for that, by the way.
Thanks, T.
But yes, the first year, I did get to play at the 4 slot. So there's 5 pairs of 2 that get to play. And they kind of, you're called like the 1s, 2s, 3s. and then you just match up with the other teams. So yeah, I played in the 4 slot. I played in the 3 slot, but a majority in the 4s. And then the second year, this last season that got cut short, I was in the 4 slot the entire time.
And how, I know the season got cut short. We won't dwell on this too much, but how is the team doing this year?
Oh my gosh.
I know. I'm putting salt in the wound right now.
But I have to give it to the team. It's not that we didn't want it every other year. It was just we were very capable, and we saw our talent, and just playing against the rest of the team in practice made us better because everyone was such a phenomenal beach volleyball player. And honestly, the girls as a whole, I love every single one of them. It was an amazing team. We were ranked number 1. We had just beat UCLA at home the weekend before all of this ended. And let me tell you, UCLA is a very, very, very good beach volleyball team. And it was a dogfight, but it was so much fun. That night was incredible.
Wonderful experiences. So coming up now, I know you are now back in Sioux Falls, correct? With
Yep.
family back there, and finishing up what? You'll graduate in May?
Yes. I was a finance major at Creighton, and then I am in the MBA program at LSU. So in May, I will be finishing up my degree.
Pretty exciting stuff.
Yeah.
So have you, comparing the two experiences, and my feel is both experiences have been great for you. What are things that you, differences within the programs or the institutions, things that you miss about Creighton, things that you don't miss about Creighton, talk a little bit about that.
I think it's very interesting going from a indoor program to a beach program. If you're around beach for about 3 minutes, you'll figure out that it's a very big difference. When I was at Creighton in indoor, everything was planned out. We knew exactly what we were going to do. Everything was on a schedule. Angie did a great job organizing everything. Then in beach, it's very laid back. So it's like, hey, I play in 30 minutes. Let's go warm up. And I'm like, warm up. I feel like that's the biggest difference for me. It's just a chill sport, and you're playing music and you're having fun, and you're out there to compete and win, but like the emphasis on fun and relaxed is there for sure.
Was that a hard adjustment for you? Because you're pretty type A, like, let's go.
Yes, it has been an adjustment. It still is. If things aren't done like I'm used to, I really try to like take a step back, and I'm like, okay, is this normal? Is this how we do it out here? And I just try to follow along because I wasn't, especially my first year, I was just coming in and observing everything, and I didn't know obviously what to expect. So after my first year, it really calmed me down, and I was like, okay, this is normal. Like, we won't know when we're going to be playing until this day, and things change, and you can't always control the weather, and yeah, you just have to go with the flow. That has taught me a lot with my
and it helps right now with what we're dealing with right now. Go with the flow, right? Being able to roll with the punches. So, okay, so T, we have some questions coming in. We've got a lot of questions for Taryn in particular. So, I have this from Talissa wants to know, how do you get college coaches to recognize you and recruit you? And I have to jump in here. It does help when you're 6'4", right? That is a extra bonus that you do get noticed. But what other things would you say, watching at your peers and other players, how do you get noticed as a recruit?
Well, the best way I can tell you is be 6 foot when you are getting recruited, and then grow to 6'4" when you get to college. And your coaches love that.
They do.
No, obviously it does help being 6'4". I would say even the small details, like your attitude, goes a long way with coaches. I've noticed you can tell the teammates that you have that really genuinely care about you. And I think that I have been lucky enough to be surrounded by those players. Coaches will recruit you if you have a great attitude, if you're working hard. And even if you have the potential, but you haven't reached it yet, like that is what college is for. You don't have to be perfect when you are getting recruited. But you just have to have a really great mentality about it, and don't be afraid to reach out to coaches. Yeah, I was very fortunate to be 6'4", I guess, because I talked to a lot of people about the recruiting process, and it's tough. It was tough for me. I was even scared to like talk to coaches, especially when you're so young. But I know that the recruiting rules all change, so I hope that really helps some girls out.
Not having to call so young. Yeah, I think those are great answers, T. And I'd say you're right that, you know, if you're a specimen, coaches are going to find you and attack you, right? Like you're going to be called all the time. But if you're that average kid that wants to be recruited, I think all those things that you said, and then also just to reinforce, you know, let the school know of your interests. So if you've got a top 20 of, 20 schools, make sure you're regularly sending them stuff, and that lets the coaches know that, hey, there's mutual interest potentially. So good answers. Okay, so here's a question for both of us. This is from Liv. I don't know who Liv is, but we'll go with Liv. What is the relationship like between coach and athlete? So I think we can talk about our relationship, and then also your relationship with you've had a lot of different coaches. So I'll let you go, and then I'll give my perspective on things.
I just told Kirsten this the other day. Our relationship, I would say, is great. Like I said, I still talk to her. She checks in on me. I check in on her. Obviously, I'm going to be a Blue Jay fan for the rest of my life. I always want Creighton volleyball to do amazing. But even, this is kind of a fun story, when she would call me into her office, it would be just to say hi. How is school going? How is your life? And then we would just talk, and I would be sweating all day. My hands would be shaking, and I don't know why, but it was just being called into the office, and I would get up and I'd be like, am I in trouble though? And she's like, what are you talking about? We just wanted to talk.
Have you ever been in trouble, Taryn?
No, and I don't know why, but it always scared me to death when I would get a message when I was in my first class of the day, and it would be, hey, come meet me at your office. And it was never bad. And she just cared so much that she wanted to spend.
To my defense, I usually will write, hey, can we meet today? Don't worry, it's not bad. Yeah. Because I know people freak out like you. So I try to, so if you don't get the it's not bad, maybe it is bad. So
yeah, but no, I would say overall, great relationship. I would say I think that I get so scared because I have such a great level of respect, and I know that my coaches know what they're talking about, and they're like your parents almost. Like they're always going to be right, and you're pretty much always going to be wrong, and it's not a bad thing. You're just learning from them. And it can be frustrating to like understand that you're probably going to have to take a step back and realize that they do have such great input and that you just have to be open to it.
And how about your relationship with your coach at LSU? How, because it sounds like he's an awesome coach, but we're really different.
Yeah. Like I said, you guys are different, and he's very laid back. I mean, he's a beach coach, and I would say you're very organized and straight to the point. I think the relationship is different. Like he wants you to come into his office as many times as you can, and it's just to talk and just to, if I want to have a film session with him, like I reach out to him, and he has no problem doing it, but he doesn't want to force you into having to do something that you're not invested in by yourself. And so it's a big adjustment. I don't know. I'm not used to it, like not completely used to it yet, but I'm grateful for both perspectives for sure.
Good. Okay, so let's see. This is from a girl named Reese Booth. Which of Coach Booth's daughters is your favorite?
You did not, Reese.
Reese.
All of the Booth girls. They're amazing. And Hayden, I'm sending you a virtual hug right now.
Hayden doesn't like hugs still, Taryn.
Oh, man. Hey, you didn't answer. What's our relationship like?
Oh, Taryn is still the same as she was the day that she arrived as a freshman. She always has a smile on her face. She always wants to please. She's always looking out for how to make a situation better. I think, I think Taryn does this even for the coaches, but I know her teammates will talk about, actually, we were doing some leadership stuff this spring, and Taryn would get brought up as someone that would listen to everybody and was always connected and such a good listener. And I think that's such a great compliment that, that people felt like they could always go to you and be someone to look out. And I always had that perspective as a coach too, that you were looking out for not only your friends on the team, but maybe the younger kids, and you were developing relationships with them and always wanting to make the team the best that it could be. So yeah, we miss having Taryn around. Okay. All right. This is from Jameson Cruz. Okay. Taryn, after college, are you going to pursue indoor or beach volleyball?
I don't know. I don't know what I was
going to be. Yeah.
I really wish I could give you an answer. I promise you, I really do. I have kind of taken more of the beach route. Like, I am just going to go where I am called to be, and that's completely fine with me. Whatever it is, I'm excited, and I know that it's going to be amazing. And yeah, I'm sorry I can't give you an answer. I don't know. Both would be great, but I don't know for sure.
It must be rough to have the ability to play professional volleyball or professional beach volleyball. I really feel bad for you.
I would say I am very blessed, and I am so grateful, because options are stressful, but options are great. They are truly blessings.
Okay, I'll ask one more for you, and then you can ask some.
All right.
If you could say, this is from Rob Whistler, if you could say anything to Division I volleyball recruits, what would you tell them, and what advice would you give?
Be patient. It's a tough transition. Everybody goes through it. You're going to go years of your life. You're going to meet the most amazing people, and your volleyball journey is going to take you places you never thought you would be. I never thought I was going to be in Hangzhou, China, and I was a couple summers ago. It's incredible. And the fact that I get to stay connected, like today, I'm going to be calling two of my friends from Creighton volleyball. Like, we're having FaceTime dates, and I am so fortunate to, one, know those people, and two, have a long relationship with them, because they are so important to me. And
which teammates are you connecting with?
Kenzie and Jacqueline.
Kenzie Crawford and Jacqueline Taylor.
Yes.
Excellent. Yes. And are your best friend was Marissa. Do you guys still talk? Do you still talk to Marissa a ton? Marissa Wilkinson?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. So you hit on something that I think fans would enjoy hearing. Your freshman year, you liked to get hurt in random ways, and it was the end of the world when you would get hurt your freshman year. Is that not true?
My gosh.
Tell a little bit about your freshman year injuries and how you reacted to these injuries.
Okay. You learn a lot. I'm telling people, you will learn a lot. My freshman year, it was about a week in, and we were walking to weights, me and all the freshmen, in the morning, and I actually got pooped on by a bird that morning. And everyone was like, "Oh, that's good luck." And I was like, "Oh, sweet." And then we were doing the competition, and I like to win. I don't know if you guys like to win, but I do. And I was cutting off my foot, and my bone snapped, and I broke my foot, and I freaked out, and I didn't want to talk to anybody, and I was not very nice. Like, I I wasn't accepting of the help that people were trying to give to me and the love that people were trying to give to me, and everyone was trying to give it to me. And I was just, nope, not going to take it. I was being stubborn and not nice. Don't do that. Teammates care about you and they love you. Okay? Next time I do it, everything happens for a reason is my reaction for the most part. Obviously, you're going to have bad days. But I remember talking to Kirsten, and I told her how horrified that I was, that I just felt sorry for myself that entire time that I was injured at the beginning. And that is not any way to be to your teammates. They care about you, and they want you to get better just as much as you want to get better.
That was kind of a moment. Was that your senior year? Yeah. I can't remember what
Junior.
The injury was.
It was junior or senior year, but I remember coming in, I don't know, but injuries
what the injury was? I don't remember what the injury was. But I remember you walking in and saying, I just want you to know I'm going to handle this like a champ. Like I get that injuries happen and I'm going to be okay. And I was like, look at this girl. Come on. But you forgot to also mention your freshman year, you fell off a dorm bed.
I wasn't going to say that. And also my dorm bed broke.
We had to move your loft to the ground.
That was the ladder. The ladder broke. And then the second one was the baby gate. And I was saying goodnight to Brittany Witt. I was like, good night, sweetie. You
crash. Yeah.
And it come tumbling down.
I never liked the Saturday night call from the athletic trainer saying we're in the hospital. It's the night before match. And recruits were there, if I recall.
Yes, it was Brittany. She was my recruit. And
that's right. She's a year behind you.
Yeah, and we had just gotten back. We got dinner, and then we got dessert, and then we were coming back. And
I know people are going to make jumps that a college student probably was doing things they shouldn't have been doing, but you weren't. You guys had a game the next night. There was no other substances involved. This was a total
No, it was crazy, and it was very unfortunate. Everything happens for a reason. We got Brittany Witt to come. And
it all worked out okay.
It was very unfortunate. I was not happy about that. And I knew people were going to think the wrong thing.
Well, I just wanted to now we can clear the air because you'd be honest at this stage. You have nothing else to, right? So, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, your turn.
I have questions for you.
Okay.
This one is from Maya. Hi, Maya. She, I know her from club volleyball in Sioux Falls. She's just an amazing kid. What advice would you give to prospects on being noticed by more college coaches?
Well, you hit on this really well earlier. I think, you want to send out information of what tournaments you're going to be at. I think a big thing is to try to come to camps, and we are hoping we have camps this summer, but that's a great opportunity. Even before the camp, maybe sending an email saying, I'm going to be at camp. I have interest in your institution. I think is a smart thing to do. And then you said all the right things as far as when the coach is watching you on the court. Obviously you have to play well, and there's just some physical talent that needs to be there. But I always say I like to watch a recruit play when they're losing, because I want to see how they handle it. Are they resilient? Are they good teammates? All those things. If you come and watch our team play, this, Taryn, like when we struggle, our eyes are up and we're going to compete and we're going to fight to come back. Those are important things. And I want players that aren't going to roll over if they make 3 errors in a row. So those are kind of things that are important to me.
I would like to jump in on that. Kirsten came and watched me in Omaha, and our team was getting destroyed. And I was so sad. I was like, oh my gosh, she's seeing us do terrible. And I know our team is so much better than this. She's not going to want me anymore. And I was just freaking out. And then I don't know what it was in my brain, but I was like, you know what? I have to be a good teammate. Like this is something that it's going to happen all the time. And she actually brought it up to me later on. And so if your team is not performing the way that you should be, just make sure that you're doing everything that you can to better your teammates and to make the situation better, I would say.
You're exactly right. And honestly, I don't care whether they're winning, right? I think sometimes recruits think, oh, we're losing. We don't care about that. We want to know how that kid that we're looking at is playing. So, okay,
Yeah.
here is one from Dr. Larry Woodman, who Taryn knows is our sports psychiatrist. What were the ingredients of the 2016 team that made the Elite Eight run? What was special about that group? That's for both of us, T. So I'll let you kind of talk about that team.
Well, I feel like I remember that day still, or that year, and all those girls. There was something different that year about piecing together the team and knowing that we had so many. I just remember this. We were thinking that there were so many potential options that we didn't know how it was all going to align, and so that was scary. But it gave you so much excitement because you knew that no matter what the coaches put out there, it was going to be a great team. And it made everybody fight for their position even more because they wanted to be on that court with those girls.
And we had a couple of unique things. I mean, Taryn's alluding to, Jess Bird was starting on the outside, and we moved Taryn to the outside. And Jess, as a senior, went to the bench. And as a coach, that's one of the hardest things you ever deal with, especially because it's kids you love. And I thought Jess handled that with such class, and she was such a popular player on the team that leadership was huge for us. Megan Ballinger at the end of the year was playing on a broken foot and battled through that, a stress fracture on her foot, and would be in a boot. Remember, she wasn't practicing.
That was insane.
Yeah, and it was cleared by the doctors. We weren't doing anything that wasn't okayed, but you guys were so tough. I always felt no matter what predicament we were in, that we could come back. Like you guys always felt that. I actually this week have been watching the Kansas match that we won, 21-19 or 20-18 in the fifth. It's still probably the most enjoyable win of my career just because of the stage and what an incredible match it was. And, you forget things several year later, and we got throttled in game 4. Do you remember that, Taryn?
Throttled.
But I also remember, I do recall going into the fifth saying, it doesn't matter that we got throttled in 4 and that it was going to be a battle. Go ahead.
Volleyball. What's the best part about volleyball?
Best and worst part is you go back to 0. That's my favorite line, right? But I mean, you guys you never got rattled. Like I never remember having moments of this team is going to fold. And that is a pretty remarkable thing that everyone on the team, you didn't have worries that any player was going to start going internal. Everyone was very external, supporting their teammates. And that was such a great run. I think your senior year, there was a lot of pressure, because we'd had that great run. And it was interesting, I think sometimes being on the road for the NCAA tournament, you want to be at home because you get a better draw and you're playing in front of your fans, but it also adds to the pressure. And I know we've talked about that some too.
Yeah. I just want to point out Jess Bird. She was an incredible teammate and person. Like you said, she handled what happened with class. She came up to me the day that it happened, and like the day that I went in, and she gave me the biggest pep talk of my life, and she was so supportive. And I think everybody should know that she wanted the absolute best for the team, and that sometimes is the hardest thing to do because it's not always going to be the best thing for you. And I still, to this day, will never forget her saying all those things to me. She was so sweet, and she wanted the absolute best for me. She wanted me to play so well, and she really gave me the confidence that I needed in myself, that I didn't have to worry if she was going to be angry, or I just knew that she was going to be supportive no matter what. And that is huge. That made my season, my life, like that. She's incredible. By the way, miss you, Jess. I love you. Stay safe. She's a nurse, a great nurse, by the way. Do you want one more question, Kirsten?
Sure, one more.
Okay. Last one. What advice would you give to someone who has been told they are too short to play college ball?
Well, I would say, this is what I would say. I think any height can play college ball. That's been proven. You've got almost every height at the Division I level. You're going to have coaches that are willing to play a 5'6" outside, a 5'8" outside, and you're going to have coaches that say, I want someone taller. So it's about finding the right place. It's finding the coach that is comfortable with, taking, I don't even know if it's a risk, but give it, a lot of times the smaller athlete offensively can do great, but maybe the block's not as big and they're comfortable with that. So I think there is a place for everyone. It might not always be at the Division I level, but there's a place for everyone almost that wants to play college volleyball. And so it's just finding the right fit. I always say cast a wide net, because you might be the best setter in the country, but the team that you want to go play for doesn't need a setter that year. So you need to make sure that you spread. There's so many great choices out there. There's so many great programs, great coaches. So spread that net wide. So Taryn, it is so wonderful to see your face. And I knew you'd thrive. You'll thrive whatever your next endeavor is. And once you're done playing volleyball, you're going to thrive. But we sure appreciate you taking the time. And, our favorite line is, once a Blue Jay, always a Blue Jay. And you surely are that. So, well, you take care. Oh, yeah, baby. Come on. Mm-hmm. All right. Well, good to see you. Thank you. And this has been another session of In the Off Season.